recently, the government in Canada passed something saying that on October 17th, marijuana will be legal all over Canada, selling it over the counter. They've had medical marijuana since 2001, and they do have places now that sell it over the counter, like the picture we showed you, but they're illegal. Supposedly, on October 17th, they'll all be legal. And Canada, as you know, is big. It's real big. And it has Toronto and just a lot of all over Canada, Quebec, and these places, the government thinks they're going to tell them how to sell marijuana, and they're going to have to buy marijuana made by the government, produced by the government. I think it's going to be $6 an ounce, something like that. A lot of stores all over Canada now that are selling marijuana over the counter, and this law they're talking about hasn't even passed. I guess nobody cares. I don't know. The police are afraid to arrest anybody. So it's like one big party. In fact, once they pass this, there'll be a lot of people from the United States coming to Montreal and all that. And there'll be huge marijuana parties. They'll be sitting around smoking. But I think it's a little more complicated than what you see on the surface. And usually I'm wrong on these situations, but the whole idea is to predict the future. Predict the future. Well, what's the future of marijuana in Canada? It's a huge, huge country, and I know you probably know it, but they have 245 places where you can go in to Canada from the United States, whether it's a forest area, airport, roads. There's 245 ways to get in to Canada from the United States. So, and we know the boundary in Mexico is 2,000 miles. So I'm not a genius, but I think the same boundary would have to be 2,000 miles in Canada. So on the Pacific, go all the way through to the Atlantic Ocean. It's a long way. It's going to be getting New York City, all those big cities along the way. And I have a feeling you're going to see some illegal activity with marijuana that's going to occur in these situations. Now, I was in California, east of California, San Francisco. Supposedly they have the best marijuana. They produce it and everything. I'll say, okay, it's the best. And now I think the first of the year, marijuana is going to be legal in California. It was medical, well now it's going to be all marijuana. But the question is, so you get it, so how do you get it back to New York City, say? Because if you go on the road, I know a guy from Oregon went on that highway coming back. He was in our office on some kind of case or something, and he said every state they stop you and they search. He was driving a big van. They stop and they search you. So if you go out there to California and get marijuana, how do you get back to New York without being put in jail? Because all those cities on that road, they don't marijuana is being legal. It's all illegal. A few states, unless they pass the medical marijuana. So we're looking at 2,000 miles, same thing as the Mexican coast. Now, Trump wants to build a wall on the Mexican coast. I don't know, maybe we need a wall here too. It's $36 billion. And they've been trying to get Mexico to pay it. Maybe if we, along the Canadian border, Canada would pay part of it or all of it. I know that would be a joke because we're fighting Canada now over these tariffs big time. Big fight over tariffs. But with 245 entrances across that water into the U.S. from Canada, I think you're going to see some real heavy loads of marijuana crossing from Canada to the United States. And most people say, well, what's marijuana? We don't care about that. I mean, it's nothing like stopping illegal, Mexicans from coming across the border on the other side. But I don't know. Canada's so big. I think that they can grow it and deliver it in huge quantities, not a couple little cigarettes.
How come they don't worry about Canadians coming over to the United States?
Well, I guess they're over there smoking. They don't have time to come over or something. But I mean, some people might laugh at that, but I don't know. If we need a wall on the Mexican side for $36 billion, we might end up needing a wall here because Canada is huge, and we're having a big fight with Canada right now over tariffs, and they can produce a lot of stuff. And if they want to grow all the marijuana they want to and get it to the United States in huge quantities with this wall and all that. I don't think it's a joke. I don't think it's funny because I think it could be that. And I'm going to give more reports on this Canadian marijuana law in the future. There's 4 months before it takes effect, October 17th. Thank you. That'll give them something for Sunday, right? Gonna have a wall on this side.